In my ongoing effort for the Egypt room not to have any visible mag locks or any of the working bits, where it'll all be behind the scenes happening seemingly by magic, I came up with, if it works, we're going to be playing with this live on camera, and by live I mean we did this a week ago by the time this releases to YouTube. Rather than just having a mag lock on the back of this plate that would come down on here, and when the puzzle is solved, mag lock releases, maybe with a spring so you can pull this off and get to your fabulous prize. I want to do it without having that visible mag lock and the visible mag lock armature on here. So what we kind of came up with was have some pusher solenoids that will come over here. You'll have one that will push this up and another one that will push this over, just over the lip there, and then they both retract so that they don't burn out. So went to our local electronics store looking for pusher solenoids, found all kinds of stuff, couldn't find pusher solenoids. So while I was in line at the checkout counter, the owner asked me if I found everything. I said I couldn't find pusher solenoids, and the guy behind me in line just says, lever. And it was that simple. So we have our pull solenoids that will pull, and they will pull on a lever, as I mock this up with my hands. So when they pull on that lever, that will then push up on a rod, which will then actuate up here, and then one over here. So we can have those on a microcontroller doing a first stage fire, second stage fire, then they both retract, and now your cover is accessible to the player, whereas when it was in that recess, you wouldn't have been able to get to it. And we're going to see if we can make that work now and show you our success or failure as it happens. So stay tuned. Up top, look down on here, so that comes there, and that scooches over, and then removes. That should be good. So since last we spoke, it's been a minute, for me at least, and I have been adding to new bricks in my monument to failures or almost successes. So the lever idea worked, having the pull turned to a push with the lever. The first one I did, it was just, I was going to use an aluminum bar that was going to be the lever, and that got sloppy, so then I did the whole thing out of just sheet PVC, and to make the whole thing fit into the size box it needed to, which is basically one of these, I ended up going with an L. I have different versions of the length on the lever for mechanical. Actually, I'm at a mechanical disadvantage on this one. And so I got the solenoids that would pull. I got the 12-volt solenoids, and they worked great until I put the weight of the lid on it, in which case they went like, and just didn't quite get it there. So I went back to the store where the guy said, lever. And I got some 33-volt solenoids, and they were strong enough. And as an added bonus, the 33 volts have a permanent magnet in them so that when they retract, they stay retracted. So the 12-volt version was going to have one stick that poked up to get him above the ridge, and another kicker over here that was going to bump it over so that when both solenoids automatically retracted, it would just kind of lay on that angle and the players could pick it up. And that was going to be a lot more complex. The 33-volt solenoids have that permanent magnet built into them so that when they go, they fire and they stay locked there. And to reset, you just add a little bit of pressure, which is basically just dropping the lid from 1/4 of an inch, and that'll bring it back down. Which meant that I only need one solenoid to do this, and I don't have to have the solenoid on and holding, because if you've used solenoids before and tried to have them on for more than about 5 or 10 seconds, they tend to burn and die, and maybe start a fire, which would be bad. But I don't have that problem because I can just fire the one solenoid, and that works. And it looks something like this. So this mounts to the back of the little reveal box. A solenoid fires, it'll pull, it'll push that guy up, which will push the lid to where you can get your fingers under it, and it'll lock right there, and it'll stay there with a little bit of force. You get it to go back down. So reset's easy, and if you play with the code some to kind of jitter the lock, you can even make it dance, because it takes about 1/4 second of pull to get it all the way up. So you can make it dance some to make it more evident that something just happened, because I think one of the Well, there are many, many things worse than this, but it kind of sucks when you have your reveal happens or something opens and the players don't notice because it happens silently or out of sight. So you can make it obvious and more cinematic that way. So the whole point of all of this was to hide your mechanisms, because as much as possible, as I'm probably said before, maybe in this video or a previous one, we're all kind of mixed up right now. Whenever possible, I want to avoid letting the player see the solenoid latch or the mag lock or whatever else. So if you can have your mechanism happen entirely behind the scenes to where all they see is half an inch of this dowel sticking up here, it becomes much easier to keep immersion, because it's not, oh, there's a mag lock in the Egyptian tomb, or there's a solenoid latch on, I don't know, I'm stuck in tombs now. The Mayan tomb, like other tombs, maybe I don't know, a Sri Lankan tomb. And to go back to one of the first things we said in one of our first videos, it's only a failure if you stop. So just with the prototyping, making it, testing it, seeing where it fails, making a better version, we end up getting to something that works pretty well. I ended up using this mechanism on more than one puzzle in this game because I liked how well it worked. And this is something I'm definitely going to come back to later on to do the various reveals where you don't see the solenoid latch or the mag lock, faceplate and armature and all that. So we're going to use this again, and I'm proud of this. And